Seen Grayson Waller? Huh? You got that Dusty Cup later? Kick ass, man. Somebody hit my music.
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
money.
Let's get to the
money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Balking Den, where there is no sleep for the wicked. It is Monday, and I didn't have my best week last week, but the weekend did get me out of the hole. So I'm feeling better than I have all fucking year, guys. I'm seeing the board well. Even Friday got hooked a few times, but life's a bitch and you marry one. And I still haven't had a losing week since midway. And we're 0-0 today. We're starting fresh on a new week. It's Monday, where we do have a super small card with only 4 guys in the black book. But we have a spot where we may have to break a rule, as rules are made to be broken. So enough small talk. Let's do what I do. And before we do that, it's about doing what something else does. And this show is sponsored by W. As you know, it's a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. And by scanning that QR code on screen, you're going to get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code on God's green earth. Pub Sports, that is. Like I said, we do have a small card today, and we got us a fucking soldier at that, as this man took his lunch break to come drop some plays. So enough small talk. Let's get to hit and run with LJ.
And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better. See, I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy.
Man, what's good, my boy? As I said, you're a fucking soldier, and that song, bro, says it. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy, as you're here on your 9 to 5 fucking lunch break, my guy. Let's fucking get it. And how you been?
Oh man, I'm doing good, Sharpie, man. I just appreciate that you invite me on your show, bro. So whatever I have to do to get the people some money, I'm gonna do it. So I told my boss I'm taking an hour. I'm going on the Balking Den so we can get some cash, guys. So let's get it.
Yeah, well, hopefully we started you off first. So if we get you back in 30, 45, maybe you're going to be like, boss, I only need 45. So let's get into it, see how much time we're going to take. So hopefully we don't have to take a whole hour of your real money. So we have 3 games you want to talk about today. So let's get to it. The first game up is a team you know very well. And fuck, you might know them both since it's both in your own state. And we're talking Rangers and Astros. Who you looking at here?
Oh yeah, man. This is a very important series, man. Rangers coming down here for a 3-game set down here at Minute Maid Park. And I'm actually looking at 2 guys today, Sharpie. I'm going to start off with Nathaniel Lowe. He's on a 7-game hit streak. And He and the other guy I'm going to talk about is going to have to carry this offense. The fact that Corey Seager is out of this lineup, and it's very important that these two guys that I'm about to mention keep up the bats. So I'm looking at Nathaniel Lowe. He's had 1+ hit 15 out of his last 18 games. He's had 1+ hit 10 out of his last 12 road games. So I believe that he will get a couple hits tonight, and I'm going to parlay him with Marcus Semien, the leadoff batter. He's had 1+ hit, Sharpie, and 16 straight games on the road versus the Astros. He's on a 16-game hitting streak at Minute Maid Park. So for that reason, I didn't want to just take him by himself because his parlay his total basis is pretty juiced. So I'm just going to parlay the 1+ hit for Marcus Semien, the 1+ hit for Nathaniel Lowe, and that gets you a -148, man. I know it's juice, but I think it was worth the squeeze. And as a side note, I also took 1+ hit for Marcus Semien, and I took 1+ run and RBI for Nathaniel Lowe as well, and that's at a -121 because I believe that he will get that RBI and get a couple of those base runners in, towards the end of the night. So those are my two parlay plays right there for the first game.
What was that plus money on the RBI one? Plus 121?
No, it was minus. It's -121.
Okay. -121. And one thing I'm going to tell you about juice, bro, you do got to pay attention to it, which is, but you can't be afraid of it. Like -140 to -150 may be my favorite price range on a K prop. If I'm looking at a guy that I like and it's that number, I think my win percentage is over 80% to that number. So it's like, it's juiced for a fucking reason, bro. Probably because it's going to win. So is what it is. And let's get on into the second game. It's another divisional matchup, but this time it's a game of who's going to be the worst pitcher. And I'm talking about the Reds at the Brewers in a matchup of Colin Ray and Graham Ashcraft. So who you picking on and with what guy?
Hey man, you can pick on a lot of guys in this game because both these pitchers are going to give up a lot of hits and possibly a lot of runs. But I'm keying in on Matt McClain for the Reds, man. He's on a 9-game road hitting streak in the division. And 6 plate appearances versus Ray. He's batting .400. He's batting .349 in the division. And he's batting .386 versus the Brewers by themselves. So I'm just going to jump on this guy. He's had 2+ bases, 7 out of his last 9 divisional games. He's had 2+ hits, 3 out of his last 5 games. So I'm taking the over 1.5 bases plus 136, Sharpie. I think that's good money right there. And I sprinkled on his homer plus 500 because he's had 2 home runs in his last 3 games. So he likes the Brewers, man. He's had good history with this pitcher. So I do believe Matt McClain will have a good night tonight.
Man, little Matt McClain story real quick. My buddy comes over all the time. He's from Cincinnati, so he's always got to talk about the Reds or the Bengals or whatever. He comes in, he goes, "Bro, you know about my kid Matt McClain?" I'm like, "No." And he goes, "What do you mean, bro? He was fucking player of the week, bro. First week up." So I mean, like, the kid's a stud, bro. To even be the player of the week, he wasn't rookie of the week. He was player of the week, his first week in the big league. So the kid's a stud, bro. And like you said, 7 to 9 games. And I think Brewers ballpark's a home run ballpark. So definitely love that. 550 or was it 500?
500 plus 500.
500 because you got a local book. I bet you all these other guys out there with legal books can get you an 8. So one thing we do here is give you our bets. And he giving you his bets, bro, at the end of the day, and that's what I love about it. So that -148, you probably get it -125 on a legal book, but it is what it is. He pays his juice because it's going to cash at the end of the day. It don't matter if it cashes.
Yes, sir.
Your last game is a game I will be talking about when it's my turn. And we got us a spot where if I'm a betting man, and I am a betting man, I would say you're going to take a Padres player in this Pirates and Padres matchup, but I have been wrong before.
No, my friend, you are exactly right. We're coming to your neck of the woods, and we're jumping on Fernando Tatis Jr., my friend, over 1.5 bases, -109. He's averaging 2+ bases at home, which is top 5 in the major leagues for one. He's had 1+ hit 18 out of his last 21 home games, batting 333 at home, and he's had 1+ hit 9 out of his last 10 home games versus the National League. So I believe this is where Tatis is comfortable at home. They were on a long road streak. So, like we always say, Sharpie, I invest in this bet. So I'm taking these players every game of these series. So if it doesn't hit tonight, I'm pretty sure it's going to hit 2 out of the 3 games for the most part because I'm taking their averages like we do. So I'm going to trust that Tatis will cash this 2 out of the 3 or maybe 3 out of 3. Who knows? But for tonight, we're going to go over the 1.5 bases minus 109.
Hey, but you did just bring up though, like, yeah, I do know you bet this 7 days out of the week, but they are coming off a long road trip. So if this was a night and these guys are gonna be like, well, then I won't play it tonight. That means it's fucking hitting, bro. And the time you guys think, oh, I'll just stay up right here, that's when it hits, bro. So yeah, definitely love me some Fernando Tatis, especially when you got a guy like Machado or Soto behind him, because you have to pitch to him. You have to pitch to the guys. So, yeah, get in where you fit in, guys. Quick recap for those showing up for the bets with Hit and Run with LJ. He's going to start his day off in the Texas Rangers game, and he's going to have 2 little 2-pick McGick parlays starting off with Nate Lowe and Simeon, both to get a hit at minus 148. And then he's going to do the other 2-pick McGick with Simeon to get a hit and Lowe to get an RBI at minus 121. Then we're going to head on over into a game of who wants to be the worst pitcher. And he's going to take a Cincinnati Reds, Matt McClain over 1.5 at plus 136 and sprinkle the home run at plus 500. It's going to end the day in my backyard, taking the old steroid user, Fernando Tatis, over 1.5 bases at minus 109. And guess what? They're not saying he's a steroid user anymore because he's doing this shit while getting tested out the wazoo. So appreciate you, my guy. Like I said, you showed up on your fucking lunch break. You're a truther as always. Tell these guys where to find you and what you got going on.
Oh man, they can find me right here, man. Plus Voice Radio. I'm most certain I'm jumping on the line tonight with Jimmy. We're gonna cap some baseball, get some money tonight. And just follow me on Twitter, man, at LJ Sports Media. Follow me, keep showing love, and man, let's continue to keep cashing, Sharpie. You my guy, man, and we're gonna continue to keep fucking these bookies, man, because it's us against the bookies, my guy. As the shirts say.
Yes, sir. About to hit the coolest freaking music intro in the goddamn game and come back with what I do best.
And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better. See, I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy.
All right. Now we get into what I like to do, guys. So smash that like button if you already have it. We got 60 live, 28 likes. I know my teacher never said I'd have a calculator in my pocket the whole time, but she lied. So that just ain't adding up. On this show, we will talk opening line on a player's K prop and then the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show. And then we will compare them to what PrizePicks has to offer. Of course, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. So if you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports and get a match deposit on your first deposit of $100 with a minimum of $25. First pitcher on the board, number 62 in the black book, Logan Allen versus the Royals, striking people out at a 24.3% clip on the year, while walking people at 8.2% of the time. Open them up on FanDuel, 6+ minus 126, where the best available line prior to this show was 6+ minus 108 on FanDuel. PrizePicks has them at a flat 6, whereas hits allowed under over are at a 5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup is no longer projected. It is out. We have 6 righties, 3 lefties. We're going to start our day talking Logan Allen in his second matchup with these Royals, as on June 28th, Allen went 3.1 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, while walking only 2 and cashing his over 4.5 by the hook. And he went 3.1 innings on 98 pitches. And after that game, the Guardians sent Logan Allen back down to the minors and was called up last week due to Bieber going to the IL. And it was a great spot to come back in, as the Pirates versus lefties have come right back to where they've been last season. The best team in the league to pick on, that is. Well, now he may have the second best team in the league picking on versus left-handed pitchers. As when we look at their numbers over the last 200 plate appearances, and I did have to go back 30 days just for 154 plate appearances from a left-handed pitcher in that time span. So the numbers say they're not walking 6.5%. They're not hitting the ball with a team isolated power of 110, while striking out 26% of the time. Now, everything in the numbers do say fire away. So let's go see who have they faced in that time span that we would put our money on this show. And them not hitting lefties doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me in that time span, as they did baptize Tarik Skubal as he went 4 innings, giving up 8 earned runs while only striking out 3. Granted, they've always done really well versus Tarik Skubal, and we don't play Tarik Skubal outside the division. Inside the division. They whopped Julio Urias' head off, granted it on the road where Julio Urias has only had one good freaking game all year. And they even got to Shane McClanahan before he was pulled due to an injury. The only lefty in the last 30 days besides Allen who did the damn thing, because Allen didn't do the damn thing, going 3.1 innings is not doing the damn thing, is Eduardo Rodriguez, who went 7 strong, 2 earned runs while striking out 7. So the Royals were very patient versus Logan Allen when he seen him last time, as I said, running up 98 pitches in 3.1 innings, while only walking out 2. That just ain't making sense, guys. So I thought the Royals would run out 4 to 5 lefties, as they were only projecting 2 in the projected lineups. And yeah, Allen's strikeout percentage is the same versus right-handed and left-handed batters, a solid 24.5%. But his walk percentage versus lefties goes through the damn roof, as it would be considered league worst in a small sample size versus lefties of a disgusting 16% compared to better than league average at 7% from the right-handed side. When I go back and check out Allen's minor league stats, only one of his 3 years in the minors did he have a worse whip versus the left-handed side, with nothing higher than a 1.21. So at the moment, he has a 1.55 whip versus the left-handed side and only 10 innings pitched. So I've got to think the back of his baseball card will start coming to fruition, as lefties shouldn't be having an issue versus other lefties, as that's the side of the plate you should dominate when being a left-handed pitcher. So the numbers say fire away, yet if you fired all month on these Royals, you're strictly sitting around 50-50, and I don't bet strictly to lose juice. There is something in the lines that is telling me something on this one, and that is that he smashes today, as they did put his that he smashes his K prop, but also hits his over and walks. And I was looking to go bet his walks over 1.5 at plus money, and then I seen the fact that it was at 1.5, and I was like, ruh-roh, Shaggy, they're offering plus money on a 1.5. When 9 of his 14 games this year, he's had 2 or more, and they're giving us plus money. Let me tell you, I seen this the other day with Dylan Cease's line, when I was like, y'all putting plus money on the over 2.5 walks for Cease? Cease has been walking 3 or more at a high rate. If Cease don't walk 3, then he's getting 10. And that's what happened. He didn't walk 3, and he racked up them strikeouts. So this is a spot, guys, where if Logan Allen keeps down those walks, he gonna have himself a motherfucking day, and maybe worth a spot of even looking at to ladder. But this is not the guy that I'm looking to ladder. This is a guy that I'm just strictly gonna go look to put a straight bet on, and that straight bet is over 5.5. As I was waiting for the lineups. And I got the lineups, and I was worried about these lefties that they would put in the lineup, as they could run 4 to 5, as they did do that versus Mackenzie Gore. And I got a vivid memory when a team does some random ass shit like that. So I was like, okay, they're going to run more than 2. They put out 3, and as I run these guys' numbers, these guys are disgusting. They're walking a combined 3.5%. Yuck. They're not hitting for the life of them, an ISO of below 0.8, and they're striking out at their overall numbers at that 26%. So, yeah, I'm on that Logan Allen 5.5 for a full unit at -108. As the three lefties in that time span, they're only walking 6.1% and striking out 27% of the time. Yeah, let's go, Logan Allen, to the moon and back. Next guy on the board, number 22 in the black book, Luis Castillo at the Twins, striking people out this year at a 26% clip, while walking people 6.1% of the time. Opened them up 7+ -128 on FanDuel. Best line available now is at that 8+ at plus money. PrizePicks has him at a 7 flat, where his hits allowed on PrizePicks under or over are at a 5. Lineups did come out, and I don't know if it was lefties, righties, actually, but I did get 3 different at-bats. That was what I was more keen on paying attention to in that spot. So we got La Parada Day, and it's here. And we have a back-to-back with the Twins. After we laddered him 5 days ago to 10+, and he ended on 11. Yeah. So what is going on here? Why did he open 6.5 -130 and sit at that -150 all fucking day until the lineups came out, when he then moved to that 7.5 at plus money? Let me tell you guys, I've been betting and studying these K-prop lines for a long time. And they don't drop people after on a back-to-back, especially when they smack. If they don't keep him the same, they jump him up. They don't drop him like they did today, as they opened the 6.5, and he was a 7.5 last week, 5 days ago. And then he smacked the over, guys, and they drop it. Well, the Twins numbers don't say drop Castillo, as they're walking at a nice 10%, smashing the ball at team isolated power of 238, yet striking out 31% of the time. So yeah, let's drop a guy versus the second worst team in the league when it comes to striking out over the last 15 days, in the top 3 all year. And we know on this show what the Twins bring to the table, and that's the league worst whiff rate in all of baseball. So nothing in this says let's drop him, other than my theory of betting pitchers who murked the team 5 days before, like Castillo just did. And that's just leave it be, as it's now the 4th, 5th, and 6th at-bats versus the same pitcher. And by betting K-props as long as I have, it's not been a good thing when a man gets 11 the first time, as it's not Castillo who has to change anything. It's the Twins. And the Twins strike out a lot. I get it. But they are professional hitters and will come up with a different game plan than the last time. And whether it be swing first pitch or not get to 2 strikes, these teams tend to adjust the second time seeing a pitcher in a 5-day period who fucking put the lights out on him. So let's check out Castillo on back-to-back over his last 3 years, as his first back-to-back we're going to talk about is exactly what I just explained. Castillo went 6 innings and had 10 punch-outs. The next game, still went 6 innings, had a good game, quality start, but his strikeouts dropped to 4. That tends to happen. Then the next time out, guys, in a back-to-back, he went 5.2 innings with 7 strikeouts to follow it up with 7 innings and 7 strikeouts. Now, 7 is what Castillo averages, so a normal or a bad day, I have no issue at looking at an over on a back-to-back. It's when they have one of them days, like Castillo just had last week, and he put himself up an 11-piece mixed strider. So to follow that up, guys, with, it's going to be kind of hard. So we're going to go look at the next freaking back-to-back. The next back-to-back. Okay? 6 innings with 11 strikeouts. Then he followed that up the next time out with 6 innings and 6 strikeouts. Once again, another quality start. Once again, punches out a bunch of people the first time. And the second time, your 4th, 5th, 6th at-bats, bro, still has a quality start, but the strikeouts ain't there because they're just jumping him first pitch. They don't fucking care. They just can't get to that 2 strikes, guys. They are not going to strike out to the same guys. I would say 85% of the time like that. Just doesn't happen, guys, and we've got to pay attention to those type percentages. Now, the only other back-to-back that he had in the last 3 years, he got whopped the first time, whopped the second time, and didn't see more than 5 strikeouts in any of those games. So no harm, no foul. They got you the first time. They got you the second time. It probably should fourth, fifth, sixth time seeing you, but usually good pitchers should come back around on a back-to-back. So that one kind of does suck for the La Pareda guys. So I just read you 4 games since 2020 that Castillo has had a back-to-back. And only 2 of those games did he have 10 or more, and he followed it up the next time with 6 or less. So yeah, they dropped him. And they're going to get no one to bet his under. And the books rarely ask for one-way money. But they have their arms wide open here, guys. If you can't tell by now, I have no action on his K-prop, guys, as I was going to need at least 3 different at-bats in the lineup for me to consider his over, as it's a back-to-back that he just slayed 11 Twins the last time out. So the lineups are out, and we did get 3 different bats in the lineup. But those 3 are the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters today, and the line has now moved to 7.5 at plus money. Now, I don't hate it if you did get in on the 6.5 at minus 150, but my rules after a guy slayed 11 guys kept me off. Till the lineups came out, and the more and more I looked at his back-to-backs, and 3 out of the 4 times where he did have a quality start, he backed it up with another quality start, guys, whether strikeouts were there or no strikeouts. So I did go half unit on Luis Castillo, over 17.5 outs at minus 140, as I expect La Pareda to do what La Pareda does, and that's shove, whether the strikeouts are there or not. He's proven that to me. One way or the other, he's proven that. Now we get to talk about the spot that I've been preaching and talking and yipping and yapping, and do we got a lineup out because I want to fucking bet it. So if you haven't, we got 90 live up in this, and we don't have 90 likes. So do me a favor, smash the like if you haven't. We do not have this lineup out, so let's get to it, guys, because this can end up being a great spot to a holy God, what's going to happen here type spot. So 42 in the black book, Hugh Darvish versus the Pirates, striking people out this year at a 26% clip. Well, he's walking people 8.1% of the time. Opened them up over 6.5 minus 150 on FanDuel, where the best line available now is over 7.5 at plus 120. PrizePicks has them at a 7, whereas hits allowed under over are a 4.5. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties for your Pirates. Now we have us a spot from the baseball gods when we look at these Pirate numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitching. They're not walking at a 7.3%. They're not hitting the ball with the team they are hitting the ball with a team isolated power of 165. Yet they're striking out over 27% of the time. And the All-Star break was in that time span. So if we just go back 4 days farther back, they're still not walking, they're striking out, and their isolated power drops to league average. So either which way, they have been punching out, to say the least. And this may be a spot from the baseball gods, like I said, with those numbers. But now let's talk a silver platter. As we talked, the godly numbers that these Pirates just bring into this game, just strictly off their numbers. But there's a chance to get anywhere from 4 to 6 left-handed bats in this lineup. And it's not just this year, but over the past season and a half, his K per 9 versus the left-handed side is at least 2 strikeouts better than from the right-handed side. So, yeah, load up them lefties, guys. Now, that wasn't the full part of the silver platter, as man, oh man, do half of this team whiff at pitches like there's no tomorrow. And that's a key we need when we back Darvish's K props, as give us that whiff and I'm gonna make you biff. So everything's looking like this should be a day for Hugh, and the books know this, as they jumped him up a strikeout and 70 cents, and now he's at that 2 strikeouts. Sharpie, what do you mean? Sharpie 316, rule 34, you don't chase women or K props. Rules are made to be broken, fellas. And one thing I learned in the California state prison system is if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then by all hell, it's a fucking duck, guys. And what I mean by that is Darvish has now played in 17 games this year. We all know Sharpie tracks everything on his guys, including when they drop and when they add. And they have only added to Darvish 2 times this year, like they have today, putting him up 2 strikeouts. And he walked out of those games with nothing less than 9 strikeouts in a game. So let's go compare those lineups from the 2 games to what the lineup numbers are projecting from the Pirates. And man, that silver platter may just have turned into a fucking gold platter. As the Brewers lineup was not striking out. They were only at a 22.2%, but they had a lineup whiff percent 4% higher than league average, well running out 4 lefties, and Darvish had himself a 12-pack that day. So they weren't striking out, but yet they whiffed and they ran out some lefties. Nah, motherfucker. He went out and did the damn thing. Cool. That's what Darvish does versus lefties, and good whiff percentage. That's been the key for him for a long time. So let's get into the other game where they jumped him, and that was the Cubs. And they jumped him up 2 strikeouts. And this lineup was striking out at the time 25.5%, but they didn't whiff as they were league average. But these dumb fucks ran out 6 lefties, and once again, he had 9 strikeouts strictly on regular whiff, 6 lefties, and a team striking out at up 25.5%. Now, the Pirates lineups are projected to be trash. And that may be nice. That may be nice. This may be the opportunity to have the Brewers whiff percentage and a worse strikeout percentage of when the Cubs, when he seed them, and we're getting at least 4 lefties. So this may be one of those career days for Hugh Darvish, is everything is stacking up in his favor, from numbers to lineups to his key, which is whiff percentage, and he is a strike thrower, which is why we need strict whiff percentage on a guy who doesn't walk people. So I will be getting in just how high am I going to go, as it depends on the lineups for me. Since I turned this ship around, it's been a lot due with paying attention to these lineups, numbers, not the overall numbers, as it can tell us a whole different story than what we're being told. And that's what happened with Hunter Brown yesterday. The overall numbers said play, play, play. Once the lineups came out, I put out a tweet that said, walk, walk, walk. And that's what fucking happened, guys. At the end of the day, these lineup numbers are telling the story, where these overall numbers can be very, very fraudulent. We'll say that. At the end of the day, it's fraudulent because it doesn't match them at all. So I will be on Darvish. It's just how high am I willing to take my ladder tonight, as my main bet will be on the 7.5 at plus money. Like I said, I don't chase, but there is now 2 guys going through my book where they've jumped up 2 or more times and they've hit. They hit. The other one, can you guess who the other guy is, guys? I mean, he's only the best strikeout pitcher the league has ever fucking seen. Yeah, Mick Strider, that is, guys. So at the end of the day, rules are made to be broken. If you've proven to me more than 2 times that you are that dude, I'm willing. So lineups come out, and I will tweet out my action on Hugh Darvish. Last guy in the book, we are going to talk about number 50, Jose Berrios at the Dodgers, my Doyers. It's time for Dodger baseball. Striking people out 23.4% of the time, while walking people 7% of the time. Open them up 6+ at even money, where the best line available now is on DraftKings at 6+ to the plus 130. PrizePicks has them at a flat 5, whereas earned runs under/over are at 2.5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup for my Doyers: 5 lefties, 4 righties. We end moving day with the last guy in the book, so I don't bet guys not in the book, and I really won't even look at those games, as I don't bet on guys to have a good day. Rule 1 in my book, guys, is you got to strike people out. At least you got to have a K per 9 of at least 9. As this is a strikeout prop. This isn't a, you're going to have a great day, let's cash your 3.5 prop. That ain't for this show, guys. I bet guys that strike people out for a living. So let's get to it, guys. As we're going to look at these my boys in blues, Dodgers. numbers, which say run for the fucking hills, as they're stroking the ball the last 15 days. Team isolated power of 218, while leading the league in walk percentage with a stupid 13.5% next to them names, while also being bottom 5 in strikeout percentage. So in other words, they're a no-fly zone, unless you have that key. And we like to have that key, guys, and we put that key in our pockets. And when we go look at our guy's velo for Jose Berrios, 94 miles per hour isn't bad. I do prefer 95 or plus, but his other pitch mix does say he may have a shot at this over today, as he uses his four-seam sinker and changeup 70% of the time and his slurve 30%. Now, the Dodgers are a team that will not chase, so the slurve will be needed to be cut down more than normal if Berrios wants to hit this over, but not much, guys, just 5 to 10% less than normal, as this year Berrios has 2 strikeouts higher K per 9 versus the left-handed side than the right-handed side, and my Dodgers are projecting 5 lefties today. Another thing that does favor him. The reason why he strikes out lefties at a higher rate is his changeup, which he uses 20% of the time already, and it's a 70-30 split when he uses it versus lefties compared to righties, and he has an immaculate 34.7% whiff percentage on that pitch, while putting people away in the elite 26% of the time on that pitch. So if we get fastball sinker changeup Berrios, this man is hitting that 5.5. That is very doable in my opinion. And that very good plus money, as they are giving you value because it is the Dodgers. And if it was any other team other than a no-fly zone, he'd be anywhere from even money to minus 120, unless they were a team who was really bad, then they would add on the tax. So there is a 40-50 cent line move, and by the time this game goes off, there probably will be a 4.5 minus 150 out there. Now, I ain't paying juice for Jose Berrios, but if I was to get on him, I would look at that plus money, as if they put out 5 lefties and Chris Taylor, like it's going to be real hard for me not to get in on this over. But the one key factor that will end up keeping me off of it is I'm just not hot enough to be playing my leans right now. I need to wait for my spots. I've had a few of those spots pop up today. I need to smack them when they come up. Now, this would be a hold my beer type of situation, as it is the Dodgers, and they don't strike out. More often than not, you're not winning K-props versus this team from the right-handed side. But the pitch mix is there, and someone I respect is on this under. That's enough for me just to let it go, guys, at the end of the day. So if you can't read between the lines, then you obviously don't know, because I don't bring anybody else on this show to talk K-props. Yeah! For those showing up for the recap, do me a favor, hit that like button, as it does help people find out about the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. It was a super small card on moving day, but we had 4 spots with guys in the book and 4 spots of action to talk about. We started the day with a full unit on Logan Allen over 5.5 at minus 108, as I did have to wait for lineups to come out before I decided to pull that trigger. Yeah. Then we got into a half unit on Luis Castillo over 17.5 outs at minus 140, as I refused to play a guy in a back-to-back who slayed 9 or more in less than 6 innings. And 11 of them sons of a bitches 5 days ago. So can he do it? Yes, it's the Twins. There's no one betting unders here versus the Twins. No, not happening. But I just don't do it. Seen it more often than not. What I have seen, though, like I said, is a back-to-back quality start. And every back-to-back that he had a quality start to start. Then we're going to get into what I think is the biggest smash spot of the day. It's just how big, how much am I willing to put on this spot? All depends on the lineups, guys. So I will tweet out any action that I put on Hugh Darvish, as they jumped him up 2 strikeouts. And Sharpie don't play that jumping up shit, guys. You know that, right? Sharpie 316, rule 34. We don't chase women or K-props. Well, rules are made to be broken, as they jumped him up 2 times. And he's had 9 and 12. You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention, Sharpie. You know, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, guys, all right? It's a duck, let me tell you. It ain't no fucking fish. I have a cat named Trout, though. He ain't no fish. Let me tell you. No. So, let's get to it, guys. I will tweet out the action I put on Hugh Darvish. I do have a lean on Jose Berrios over tonight, but like I said during the breakdown, I just have not been hot enough to be playing my lean, so I'll just leave it be. Appreciate the 100 people who showed up live today. Smash that like button, as it does help people find out, about the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. As you already know, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use promo code PUBSPORTS. You're going to get a match deposit up to 100, minimum of 25 on your first deposit. Today's special guest was LJ from Houston. And, yeah, we getting that money today, fellas. Why? Because I seen me a cougar, and I was sitting by the pool. And that cougar, she was wearing leopard print. And I was looking at her like, I'm going to eat her up. And she came over. You know why she came over? Because she wanted a piece of a legend, of a dog, of a man. Yeah. L-A night. Say that with me now, huh? No, shut up, fellas. I'm speaking. So, like I was said, she came over and she goes, I've got some milk. I said, honey, I don't like plastic. She goes, honey, this all natural. I said, oh, baby, oh, baby. And I can't. This HBO status. Tune in tomorrow for the rest. PG version. Yeah!
Keep firing, assholes!